Hey guys, I'm Tutorial Phil. Welcome back to my channel. This is a follow-up to both of my Triple S videos. Here I'm comparing the two different styles you can get currently from the Triple S, and they are quite distinct. The soles are pretty similar, but you can see the design of the main upper shell is different. The first thing I think you'll notice, or at least what I noticed, are the size numbers. This is the original style. This isn't one of the original colors, but this has the size on the toe. It's stitched into this leather piece. So this is a size 40, a Euro 40. And then you can see here, the size is not on the toe, but the shape of the leather suede piece here is different, and it's also asymmetrical on each of the shoe. So you can see the design here is quite different, the pieces. But the sole shape you can see is pretty much identical. The laces are also different. This is more of a traditional sneaker. It has the flat laces, whereas on this style, the laces are round. And then the way they are laced, they're using these, what looks like tabs. And then there's also extra eyelet holes here, which you could maybe use. And then these also have a contrast color on them, on the laces. And then you'll notice on the tongue, for this specific one, it just has Triple S in kind of like a plastic. It's a little hard to see here because it's in there, but it's kind of a plastic print, whereas this has a label sewn onto it and it has a UPC code, and that's where it lists the size. So on this one, you can see that the UPC code and the size is there. Something I'll also be comparing in this video is the difference in size. So this is a 39, whereas this one's a 40. So this one on the tongue, it's just like a 3D plastic piece that's been melted or applied on. And there is another loop here as well as a loop here. The loop on the bottom there, it's in both of them, but this one has an extra top loop as well as a heel loop that the other design does not have. So the main differences when you look at it from the front is the toe, the laces, and then also the tongue right here. And if we look on the back, there are also some noticeable differences. I had just talked about this one having a loop, whereas this one does not have a loop, but what it does have is a leather patch, and it has the BB stamped on it. And this, you can see the leather detailing goes up and down like this, whereas this one is just really all about the patch. This is all plain. The way Balenciaga is shown on it is also different. On this style, I think it's all sewn on. In this specific one, it is sewn on to this reflective silver piece like that, and it's larger. This one's a little bit harder to read, although it's black and white, so there is high contrast, but it's like a tag that's sewn onto the side, and they both face the outside. And then you can also see here the shape of the leather is different. This is one single continuous piece, whereas this one has more jagged lines, and there's another piece, leather piece right here that connects this with the shoelace part. Looking at the soles, here is where they are pretty much the same. There's a color difference, but when you look at the pieces involved in making it, it is pretty much the exact same. You have all the same pieces. You can see all the shapes here are the same, and they both have that kind of hollowed out design when you look at it from the top. The bottom is the same as well, but on this one, and I'm not sure if all of the second style has the different sole color, but you can see here where Balenciaga is printed, it's not white, it's blue, which matches the leather. So if this leather was patent, I would imagine it would be the same color as the bottom. And then the grooved or the threaded pieces match kind of the main color here, the nylon, the teal blue color, so the lighter one. Whereas on this one, you can see the main part is white, even though there aren't, besides the laces, there aren't anything that's white. It's the main color for the middle portion where Balenciaga is on, and then the treads here are black, or it's a really dark gray, which it's not anywhere up here besides the reflective silver part. So the sole design is the same, but I think the way they choose the color might be different between the two styles. The price for both of these are $8.95. However, in the video of this one, I explained I got this one from Barney's and I got this one from Balenciaga.com. Balenciaga.com lists both as the same price, but Barney's actually lists this style $100 less. So Barney sells the pair on the left for $7.95. And on Barney's for this style, it's $8.50. So it's $45 less expensive than Balenciaga. I found that Barney's is the only store that does this. I'm not sure why. The footbed on this second style is white, so it's a contrasting color from the rest of the interior, whereas on this one, it's the same color as the interior. And then to compare kind of the size, it's not gonna be that apparent just because there's so much detail going on. The top one is a 39, whereas the bottom one is a 40. And this angle almost makes it look like the top could be bigger, but actually if you look here, you can see the top one is a little bit shorter. Since these shoes have the centimeter size on it, I'm gonna check what the difference in the sole is between these two. So I'm doing my best to measure it from the tip and then going to the middle. Looks like this one's 32 centimeters from the tip at the highest point to the middle part of this is 32 centimeters. And this is also the left pair. So trying to get that on the tip. This one looks like it reads just about 33 centimeters. So the bottom of the shoe is about a 1 centimeter difference. You can't really use that as a reference because these soles are exaggerated, so you can't use that number and then measure your existing sneakers and figure out if you're a 39 or 40. But based on my experience in trying both of these out, as well as the Speed Trainers, another shoe from Balenciaga, if you're in between sizes, I would definitely recommend that you size down. If you are a regular full size, then you just might want to think about what socks you plan on wearing with these and maybe how far you plan on walking with these. Also, if you just prefer a looser fit, I think choosing your size, so instead of sizing up, I would just choose your regular size and I think you will have a comfortable fit. If you're someone who does want it to be snug so that when you're walking, it feels better and it's more ergonomically supporting your foot, I would say it's worth it to try one size smaller, especially if you don't plan on wearing thick white tube socks, which these are, I see them styled a lot with those like white ribbed tube socks. I mean, they also make ones that are thinner and ones that are much thicker. So if you are sizing down, you probably want to consider getting thinner ones. But if you're keeping the same size, then maybe the thicker ones will work better for you. I do get quite a lot of questions on the Speed Trainers because I did a similar size comparison between the 39 and 40, and I ended up keeping the 39. Based on what I said, that's my best guess right now. And next, I'm gonna show you how each of these look like on. I'm probably just gonna get clips from my previous two videos, but I'll include it here. And that's my video. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this helpful, especially if you are considering getting these. If you're not sure which style to go for, and also if you feel like you're in between sizes, or if you have experience with other Balenciaga shoes, you may want to consider sizing down if that's worked out for you in the past. I do know this style is still quite polarizing. I would say if you're unsure about it, you definitely want to give it a try. You never know if it works out for you until you try it. I was saying in my first video when I unboxed these, which is my first in-person experience with trying them on, I kind of grew to like it. It's definitely odd. It's not something I would wear every day, but it does stand out. So subscribe for more videos and check me out on Instagram for the latest updates and exclusive content. And I hope to see you in my next video.